Right? This tutorial is about solving one-step equations. All right, we have a couple of steps we need to follow. Steps 1, start on the side with the variable. Okay, and then number 2, isolate the variable, meaning get it alone. And in order to do this, you need to use the inverse operation, which means use the opposite. All right, so a lot of times students today will see a problem given to them with algebra tiles like this. Okay, this is your variable. The big long bar is always your variable. And then we have 1, 2, 3. Looking over here, that means those are negative, is equal to, we have 6, and those are positive. So what we need to do first is translate this into an equation so I can see it with numbers and variables. So I have 1x. So that means I just have an x. I can put a 1 in front if I want to, but you don't have to. X, and then I have negative 3, so that means minus 3 because that has 2 jobs. It's a subtraction sign. And if I take the x away, it becomes a negative sign. Equals, and then I have 6 over here, and those are positive. Okay, so I'm going to start on the side that has the variable. That's over here. And I'm going to undo the operation that's going on with that variable. I'm subtracting 3, so that means I need to add 3. And whatever I do to one side of the equation, I do to the other. So I will add 3. These cancel because that equals 0. And I am left with x. I have now isolated the variable on that side. Equals, what is 6 plus 3? That gives me 9. So x is equal to 9. Now in order to check that out, put your 9 back in place of x. So 9 minus 3 equals 6. Is that a true statement? It is. So x is equal to 9. All right, so let's take a look at other operations that could be going on with the x. Negative 4x. That means you are multiplying negative 4 times whatever x value is. Okay, so negative 4 times x is equal to 16. Start on the side with the variable, and I want to undo multiplication. What's the opposite of multiplication? That would be division. So I'm going to divide by negative 4 on both sides of my equal sign. Negative 4 divided by itself gives me 1. So I am left with 1x, or just x. I've isolated it. 16 divided by negative 4 is equal to negative 4. You have to remember your integer rules. Okay, so if I wanted to, I could plug that back in for x. Negative 4 times negative 4 is 16. So x is equal to negative 4. Moving on over here, this is a division problem going on. Okay, x divided by 5. So opposite of division is to multiply. So I will multiply this side by 5. Multiply this side by 5. Those cancel. I've isolated my x. Negative 13 times 5. Multiply that out. 6. Negative times 5 is a negative. So my answer is negative 60. Whoop, not 16. What am I doing? Negative 65. Okay, moving on down here. X minus 1/10 is equal to 1/2. All right, they could throw fractions in there. All right, so we will do opposite, which means I will now add 1/10 to both sides of my equal sign. Those cancel. I have isolated the x. Now I need to, because these are fractions, I need to find common denominators. And this one's easy. It's going to be 10. This guy is already in tenths, so I'm just going to move the numerator over. 2 times 5 is 10, so 5 times 1 is 5. Add, and I get 6/10. Let's do this. Okay, so I have 6/10, but I need to simplify. Divide both by 2, because that's the largest number that goes into both, and I get 3/5. All right. Ooh, what if we have a multiplication of a fraction times my variable. I still have to divide, and when you divide by a fraction, you do the keep, change, flip. So go ahead and just flip it because you're going to end up doing that. Flip it. These cancel. I have now isolated my x. 5 times 5 is 25. And I don't have to worry about putting it over the 1 because that just gives me 25. And finally, what if they throw decimals and rational numbers here at you? Okay, start on your side with your variable. I'm going to do the opposite. So I'm going to subtract 1.6 from both sides. Those cancel. I've isolated my x. Now I have to remember my integer rules, okay? So what I'm doing here is, since I'm subtracting, I want to add the opposite. Okay, so since they have the same sign, you need to find the sum. So 8.2 plus 1.6, bring your decimal down, 9.8, and they are both negative, so it remains negative. Okay, again, you always start on the side with the variable. You want to isolate the variable, get it all by itself, by using the inverse operation. Hope that helps.